Welcome to this live stream, day 40 of the 90-day challenge. And I'm John Alfredson, and I'm here with Stephanie Homeyer.
Hey, everyone.
And we're going to answer questions. We're going to have a Q&A today. So whatever questions you might have around Shopify or Facebook or setting up ads or setting up your store or whatever it might be, just post them in on this video, and we will answer them to the best of our abilities.
Yes.
So if you don't know who we are, I'm one of Techademic's trainers in the Entrepreneur program and the Ecom Incubator program, and also a Tech Week instructor. So I've been training people with Shopify for about, for the last 6 months here at Techademics. And I have my own Shopify store. I launched that store 16 months ago, approximately, and it has generated $650,000 in revenue so far. So it's been going pretty well. If you don't know my story, I started out back in November of 2015, and I launched my store on a Monday. I got 2 sales the first day for my Facebook ads. I had taken a course. It took me 2 weeks to set up the store and get started from that course, and then got 2 sales the first day when I launched my ads, and then just escalated from there. I found a winning product very quickly, so I got into almost 1,000 orders my first week. So it was a little overwhelming, actually, because I wasn't prepared for that. So I had to take a break and basically pause my ads to find virtual assistants, and I did, and then they just went on from that. So it's been going up and up and up since then. And Stephanie?
Yeah, and I'm Stephanie Homeyer. I work here at the Techademics headquarters. I've been with the company since the beginning, so about a year ago. And I've been in e-commerce for about 5 years now, and been working with Chris as well as other mentors like John Alfredson here, and help us support our e-com department. So looks like we've got a couple of questions coming in here now. You guys can just keep posting and we'll answer as we go along. Let's see, we've got Flippin Johansson.
Philip Johansson. Philip Johansson, yeah.
Yep.
What do you think about making a store for a specific country with that language? My opinion for that is absolutely. If you have a product or an audience that is very country specific, if you can go worldwide, or if you can't ship worldwide, then definitely go for your country and for your language. But if you can do it worldwide, I would recommend that, because you have a much broader audience. If you can ship worldwide, and you can if you're doing drop shipping from China, for example, you can go to any. But so what you can do also is you can also install apps that have multiple, so that can basically determine where the visitor is coming from, and basically change the language based on where they are at. So.
All right. And then Mako, yes, there will be an international training here soon. At this time, we don't have an additional training for any international, but we will be working on that for all of our international folks.
Yeah.
Who else is joining us today?
Yeah, we've got 28 people on so far, as I can see. So any questions? We're having a Q&A. So any questions related to Shopify or Facebook advertising, whatever you might have, we will answer them as much to the best of our abilities. And yeah, how do you guys know if it is a winning product, and how many sales must I have after 4 days? A good average, please. Thanks. Okay. Just a winning product. I mean, you don't know from the beginning when you start if you have a winning product or not. I mean, you might have done research to find out that this is a product that is selling for other stores. So you take one of those that have a lot of sales, or that you've been selling, that you've been seen promoted on Facebook and from other stores, and then start promoting for yourself. If you're making 1 sale within your first 3 or 4 days with a $5 ad, that's a good start. If you don't make any sales within 3 or 4 days, definitely pause your ads. But then there is something disconnect between the audience or the product. They might not like the product, or the audience might be off for that particular product. So, but if you're making 1 sale or more than 1 sale, definitely it's a good sign. But then you want to look for consistency, so that you get consistent sales on a daily or maybe every other day on a $5 budget. So if you can get that for a week or more, so that you can get up to 10 sales, 15, 20 sales, then then you probably have a winner if you can get those sales relatively cheap. So then it's time to think about scaling, I think. That's my opinion.
I completely agree with you. So we do notice that there's a lot more people joining us, and so today we're actually just doing some Q&A on Shopify and how we can really help you guys, whether it be in your settings or adding products into your stores, themes, anything in regards to Shopify. Really plug in your questions here in the comment section, and John and I will go through and answer each one of them. Let's see.
So
this one right here was the number one tip for building a long-term brand with AliExpress and drop shipping.
Long-term, to build a brand, I would with AliExpress, I would first look for find winning products, to see to actually learn how to sell, so that I can make consistent sales of a product. And if I find a winning product in my niche, or when I do, I should say, then basically after a while, after I sold maybe 20, 40, 50 or even more of that, I start looking into contact my supplier in AliExpress and see if they are, first of all, if they're willing to negotiate price with me so that I can get a lower price, but also if they have the ability to do custom make these items, so that I can put my brand name on them, so that I can stand out basically from the competition, basically private label them. That's how I would do with AliExpress long term to build a brand. And then reach out to suppliers on AliExpress and see if they have contact. A lot of them have contacts with manufacturers or factories. They have factories themselves, so they cannot a lot of times accommodate your requests.
And Michelle, when scaling, what's the best way to scale? Is it based on age or gender, and do we automatically scale after one sale? You're really going to want to look for a little more proof than just one sale. One sale is a really great start. My recommendation would be definitely more than 25 to start to really scale it up. And you can scale it up more based on not just the age and gender, but also on countries and interest. John, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, absolutely. Just what Stephanie said, you want definitely more than one sale, because one sale can just be a fluke that you got lucky and got the sale after the first day. But you want to see consistent sales on a day-by-day basis. And when you do that, and we got up to 20, 25 sales, definitely you have a winner, and you can start scaling out. And not just age and gender, you can scale also out by phone device they're using. If they're on iPhone or Android, you can basically split that up, and then you can create custom audiences, which is a little bit more advanced. But custom audiences, basically you can put all the people that have visited the product page into one audience, and then in your Facebook ads account, and then you can advertise to that. But more importantly, when you have enough people in that audience, you can create a lookalike audience. And a lookalike audience is an audience basically of people that Facebook put together that is very similar to the people that have visited your page. So if you have 1,000 people that have visited your product page, and you create a lookalike audience based on that, Facebook will put together an audience of millions of people that are very similar to those people in their demographic and their behavior and their interests and stuff like that. So they're more likely to buy your product as well than the general population. So that's what I would recommend, how to scale out. It's a very, very short answer to a big question, but there are many ways you can scale out.
Mm-hmm. And this one right here, we've got, what do you think about doing worldwide targeting for a PPP ad and get lots of cheap likes and social proof? After that, to create a view content ad only for US.
Do you have any?
So yeah, worldwide targeting is great for social proof. It really helps you to see what the other countries are now. From my understanding, with the new worldwide feature, US is not included in that. What I've seen. It's
not? Okay, I haven't used the worldwide feature. I haven't checked that actually, but I wouldn't use a worldwide feature actually to start with my PPE ads. You can do that, yes, and you can get very cheap likes, yes, but also all the likes that you're getting most of the likes that you're getting are going to come from countries which you're not selling to most of the time. There are countries with very very bad postal service, so you can't rely on the tracking of packages getting to their destination, and they're also having a lot of credit card fraud and things like that. So you don't want to ship worldwide all your products. So also don't do the PPE ad to all of those countries, because that will also build up your Facebook pixel data based on the people that are liking your ad. So if you have a lot of people liking your ad from countries that you don't ship to, they're most likely not also the buyers. They're going to be buyers later. Or so if you're creating lookalike audiences later on based on the people that have liked your page posts, for example, that audience is going to be based on those people in those other countries, and that's maybe not the best idea. So I would suggest that you create a PPE ad to the countries that you ship to, and only include the countries that you ship to. So if you ship to US, Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, and maybe some Western European countries to start with, that's where I would start to create my PPE ad around those. You can do it worldwide, and you can get it cheaper. It will be definitely cheaper to do it worldwide, but also you don't just want the likes, you also want the data on the pixel from those people that are liking. You want to know what age group they are, the people that are liking, and things like that. So, yeah. Absolutely.
Great point. So in that, you can also exclude the countries or only target the countries that you're going to be marketing to, that you can ship to. The next one is, will you please talk about the matrices you watch for and what type of numbers you want to see to determine a promising campaign versus one that is underperforming?
Okay.
Would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. So the metrics I look for, now we're talking about conversion campaigns with a website conversion objective. The numbers I look for, the metrics I look for is the click-through rate first and the cost per click. So I look if the click-through rate is, and the click-through, there are several different metrics for the click-through rate, but the click-through rate for all is what I'm looking for foremost, and that is basically counts all the clicks on your ad, on the clicks on the like button, the clicks on the comment link, and also the clicks to just open up your image, whatever. So it's not just click on the link, but that's the first thing I look for. And if the click-through rate for all is over 2%, it is okay, in my opinion. And if it's around 5, it's good, and it's over 5, it's good. And if you get over 10, then it's really good, in my opinion. So you should strive to get it over 5, and the click-through rate. That's the first. And if it's not, if it's not over 5, at least it should be over 2 after a few days. If it's not over 2% after 2 or 3 days, if you run your ad, there's definitely something wrong, something missing with your target audience or the product. So then I suggest that you pause your ad and take a look at the audience you're targeting, or look at the product. Maybe you need to change something there. Mm-hmm. The next one is... I
think that one. I think you pretty much just covered what Christopher asked, which is, he's run some PPP ads for 3 days to boost the engagement. So with 4 different types of products, and not getting much engagement. And so the question is should he rerun the ad and target different audiences, build engagement, and then run a conversion ad? And I mean, in my opinion, Christopher, what I have seen is yes. I mean, there's going to be several different areas that you want to look at when running an ad. It could be the image, it could be your ad copy, it can be your targeting, and it can be your price. So you want to look at all of those aspects before changing every single thing. Maybe change one thing. If you're not getting much engagement, it could be what you say in the ad copy, and it could be the targeted audience as well. So, I would definitely look at all of those and see where you can make some changes, and then just run another PPP ad. And then as you start to see a lot of those engagements and comments, shares, you really, then you can start to do more of a conversion ad when you know that is a great product, it's going to sell. And then also I would recommend adding in some take action words, whether it's like, tag, share. Typically tag and share are the most commonly used ones. That will help increase your engagements as well. And you also can add some scarcity into your ad. That'll help people take the action as well. That will help you to want to change over into a conversion ad.
Yeah, And also, one thing you want to consider as well is the image in your ad. Is that good enough? Is it standing out? Because the image makes up like 90% of the whole ad, and has a big impact on the interaction engagement. So if you have a great image, you're more likely to get good engagement. So that's also something you might test. A lot of people talking about testing, changing different ad copy and things like that, but also the image is also very important. So it needs to be clear, crisp image, in my opinion, of the product, or have another, or someone using the product is even better. If you have a person in there, it will get more engagement most of the time.
I mean, that kind of goes back to our conversation that we had earlier today. In an ad that we were reviewing, and I had one that had just white background, and it did better than one that I did with the exact same image, just doing a short little video. And the one that had just a white background, it worked. It was appealing. And so you don't know until you test. And so I think that's really the key here, is just continuously testing and seeing what works and what's not working. Yeah. Let's see. So to scale to other countries, do you need any licenses?
That's something you need to depending on what you're selling. I can't give any advice on that, but I've sold to a lot of different countries. So I can't really give an advice on it's all depending on what you're selling and what's allowed to sell in those countries, with the countries that you intend to sell in. So you need to look it up with those countries. But I've sold to a lot of countries, the big five, like United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and United Kingdom. But also I've sold to Western European countries a lot of products. And you can definitely do that, but you need to look it up first. Make sure that you're not selling something that is forbidden in that country or something like that.
Okay. Let's see here. All right, let's take another question here. Those of you that are just joining us as well, I continue to see the numbers going up. And so we're here today live in the 90-Day Ecom Challenge answering your questions on Shopify. So please go ahead and comment below with your questions, and John and I will be answering those. Any app in Shopify, free or paid, that can help in SEO? Or John, are you familiar with any apps for SEO in Shopify?
No, I don't. Well, there are apps, absolutely, but I don't think in the beginning, when you're starting out, at least, you don't need a lot of SEO, to focus a lot on SEO. The SEO that you can type in at the bottom of the product descriptions, they are basically the only thing you need to get started. So when you're adding a product in your store, in that product settings, basically at the bottom that you have a little box for SEO settings where you can type the title for SEO and description and things like that. And that's the only thing you need to get started. And then later on, when you're making sales, absolutely start focusing on SEO as well. But the focus in the beginning should be on making sales. And if you're making a lot of sales already, there are absolutely apps that you can install. But I don't have one in particular that I will recommend here right now.
Mm-hmm. So I think this next question really comes up a lot in regards to a general store. If somebody has 4 to 5 niches and they have 1 pixel install, wouldn't that confuse the pixel if they're running ads in 2 to 3 different niches? So if they're running like a kitchen niche or a golf niche, and then teachers or police officers, is that going to confuse the pixel in order to give them the proper data that they need to have a successful winning products?
Yeah, and my take on it is it might affect a little bit to have multiple niches, but it will still work, because I have a general store. I have multiple niches in my store, and I have my pixel haven't had a problem with optimizing for sales in all those niches with no problem. So I'm making a lot of sales in all those niches, and with only 1 pixel. So it definitely works. How much it will affect, I mean, I don't know, because I haven't tested with multiple pixels, but I say that's definitely working. I mean, the pixel is picking up data from all of your visitors on your site, and when you start launching an ad campaign for a specific product or specific niche, it also picks up what are the preferred buyers for that particular product, for that particular niche, and then it will build up data for just that particular campaign when it's optimizing. So as soon as you're getting some traffic to that product, then you will also start seeing sales in that, because Facebook start learning that for this product we're gonna optimize for these type of buyers. For this other product, which is in another niche, the pixel will learn how to optimize for buyers to find buyers in that niche. So that's, I think, what's how it works for me, and why it's been working well for me.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
it's very helpful. How many ads do you test for a product? If all PPP ads have good engagements, likes, do you run a website conversion ad for all of them? And what if the ads perform well in a PPP but no results in a conversion? Do you wait 3 days or kill it in the first day?
Yeah, well, what
Well, I think that, in my experience that, you can test multiple products. I've tested several products, and you not being attached to the actual product and just see if it goes. If you get a lot of engagement, my rule that I follow, not everybody follows this one, and that's okay, is 10%. So if I've got, 100 likes, I want to see like 10 sales. So that's kind of how I gauge it. And then run a website conversion ad. And then you can start, if you've got a seasoned pixel, then you can start with a purchase conversion ad, or even doing a add to cart. And so that's kind of where I start at. And with as seasoned as the pixel is that I have on my store, I kind of kill it within like 48 to 72 hours. You really want to give Facebook enough time to give you back the data, and to see if it's even going to scale, whether it be.
Yeah, absolutely. But the goal for you all should be that after the PPE campaign the purpose of the PPE campaign is to build up the engagement. The purpose is not to make sales. Yes, you will make sales as well occasionally, but you will not make as many sales when you're using the conversion objective, website conversion objective. That's the focus for that one, is getting the visitors to click on the link, or if you're choosing view content as the objective, or if you're choosing purchase as the objective, then the focus will be to get as many sales as possible.
Right.
So you should start switching over to website conversion as the objective as soon as you have it. You think that, you're starting getting engagement, and you can run the engagement ad for a while, but you're not going to run the PPE ad long term, in my opinion.
Right.
You turn it off after a while, because when you have enough engagement, and then you focus on the conversion ads, because the conversion ads are the ones that are going to make you the money. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So start by focusing on view content if you haven't had many sales yet for the objective for the conversion ads, view content, and then move on to add to cart later on when you've had some sales, and then purchase as the objective. When you've had a few sales, 10, 20 sales maybe, of a particular product, then you can most likely switch over to purchase as the objective, and have Facebook optimized, because then Facebook knows a little bit about your buyers, how many that you've had a few buyers, and they can look at them and try to find similar people when they're targeting, when they're showing the ads to the audience.
All right, that's great stuff. So, and Cameron is asking about if they haven't had any sales, but they've got an email list of about 15 people, should they start to do some email campaigns to those 15 people? And if so, what do they say?
I wouldn't, if they haven't had any sales yet. Yes, you can send out an email, yes, but my focus would be on just getting the sales first in the beginning when you're at that level, because you want to build up eventually an email list of thousands of people. And also remember, when you're sending out emails to your list, is that not everyone is going to open your email. So the average email open rate for a newsletter from a store is around 10% maybe. So if you're sending out an email to 15 people, only 1 or 2 people are going to open that email. So is it worth your time? Well, it's up to you to decide it, depending on what you're selling. But I would focus in the beginning more on just getting those sales first, and while you're focusing on that, you're going to build up your email list even more. So.
And also to add on to that, if you've got say 15 people on an email list, are they coming through on an email pop-up, or do you have a subscribe button? If people are adding to cart, if you don't already have this, it would be my recommendation to have an abandoned cart app. That will automatically send them out a series of 3 emails, and that'll help you. I've noticed when I have that going continuously, I've got sales coming through. If they abandon cart, the emails will actually bring them back in. So some people, walk away from their computer, or they got busy on their phone and they clicked off of it. The abandoned cart will just go right back to them and remind them, hey, we've still got your stuff waiting here. So that could help you to get some more sales as well.
Yeah, and for me as well, in my store, I use the app called Abandonment Protector. There are several apps that can recover carts, but that's the one I use, and it sends out 3 emails. I send out one like 15 minutes after they abandon their cart, and then the second one I send out like 5 or 6 hours after, and then the third one 24 hours after. So the app sends out those emails to the people that abandon carts, and it's able to recover a percentage of the people that are visiting into buyers by just doing that. And last time I checked, the average, the cart recovery app alone was responsible for about 10% of my revenue for any particular day. So it can be huge. I mean, if you're increasing your sales by 10% by just having that app, and it doesn't cost much. It's a paid app. That one that I'm using, it starts at $8 a month, but definitely find an app that can do try to recover your abandoned carts. That's the most income generating app that I have, I would say. I mean, it brings me most revenue, so, in my store.
Okay, that's great. And Bobby just said that he said that we need to speak a little bit, or she said we need to speak a little louder. Can you guys hear us okay? Everybody hearing us just fine? You're welcome, Cameron.
Yeah, it's a little delay, so do we have more questions?
Yes, we do have more questions. Just want to make sure they can all hear us.
You can read your sitting closer. So.
Okay. So we've got a couple of that one. We already answered that one. All right. Yeah, we want to get closer, they said. So can you mix selling real estate and product to limit returned items?
Real estate?
Real estate right here. Sell real estate and products on your Shopify store.
I don't think look at. I don't think you should sell real estate on do any type of. I mean, if you can target real estate agents or something, if you have products that they would like, yes, absolutely. But I don't think you should go into the real estate market with your Shopify store, or neither do I think that you should start selling start selling digital products as an affiliate on your Shopify store. There are other solutions for that. I think you should focus on physical products in your Shopify store, physical products that can be shipped. So those are the only products I recommend that you start selling in your store.
What products should be avoided if you want to limit returned items? I can just speak from my own personal experience is electronics. Yeah. That's one that when I first started out in e-commerce, I was like, yes, I'm going to get all the electronic stuff I got. Chargers and the batteries. I got all kinds of stuff. I would definitely stay away from electronics and anything that's glass because if it's going to be shipped, it could break during delivery, and you don't want that to happen. So
no, definitely, I agree with you. And electronics can be very popular, but also it's very competitive in pricing, and you don't have a high margin if you're selling electronics usually, and it breaks, and then you have to handle a lot of returns. So try in the beginning when you're selling, try to avoid electronics. Maybe some very simple electronics could work, like for example, like headphones or something like that. It's very simple, but don't try. In general, try to stay away from electronics. Also, clothing. Unless you're doing print on demand, stay away from clothing in the beginning, because the sizes that comes from China, if you're drop shipping, they're not the same sizes as the US sizes and European sizes, and you're gonna people are gonna return it, and they're gonna have a lot of customer support from that. So avoid that.
Absolutely. We've got kind of more along the lines of a statement, but why spend over 400 only to get one sale, and where is the problem? I mean, just in my own processes of going through Facebook ads, it's really all about reviewing your data and setting a budget. Before you get to 400, if that's your daily budget, then okay. But when you're starting out, I would recommend starting out a little bit smaller, something like Chris teaches, something very, very simple as a $5 a day ad. And just testing it and seeing if $5 is too much, then go down to $3. But really the purpose of it is to see if that's an actual winning product, if you're going to get the engagement to scale it up, or if you need to move on and find another product.
Yeah, you can't just put out an ad and on a daily budget and then just don't look at the results from that ad and hope that it's going to sell. The important thing is to look at your data. I don't know what you have been doing either, but when you spend the $400, maybe you have tried a lot of different ads, but look at the data from those ads, because every time you're investing in an ad, you're buying data from Facebook. So you can go ahead and look at that. Who are the people that are clicking? Who are the people that are liking the ad? Where are they coming from? What age group are they? So you can break that down in the ads manager to see exactly in your reports to see who the people are that are actually liking your ad. And if you have good enough click-through rates, like I said earlier in a question, over 2% click-through rate is what you should strive for at least. That's the okay level, and above 2% is when you get up to 5, it's good and above. But if you look at that data and try to determine maybe you're not targeting the right audience if you don't get the right response, or maybe the product that you're trying to promote is not appealing enough. So there are a lot of different factors to take into account there. So we can't really tell you what's actually your specific problem, but that's where you should start looking for why you're not selling. Yes,
agreed. Michelle has another question in regards to running a PPP and a website conversion, both at $5 and got one sale. And should you leave both ads running to scale? And my first question would be, how long have you been running the ad? If it's one sale for $5, and you've been doing both of those, if it's $5 for each one or $5 together, and you've gotten one sale, if that's in one day or 3 days, and then also, again, going back to what John said, reviewing the data and seeing where are those clicks coming from, how many clicks are you getting, as well as all of the engagement. So, hey, what's up, Robert?
Hey, Robert.
And Elaine. Great to see you guys on here. Thanks for being here. Jennifer has a question in regards to images in the store itself. Do you recommend just the product for the main image, or with a background showing how the product looks while on a person? For example, jewelry, kitchen gadgets, cookie cutter, all of those. So plain backgrounds, that was something that we were just talking about too.
Yeah, I mean, plain backgrounds, white backgrounds can work great if you have a very nice picture of for ads, it can work really great if you have a very nice picture, crisp, clear picture of your product. But also if you have someone wearing your product, if you have selling jewelry, for example, if you have a picture of someone wearing that jewelry, so that it awakes more emotion in the person that is looking at that, and they can actually see themselves maybe wearing that in a better way. So it definitely recommend having images where people are using your product. That will only help you, I think, unless they are really bad quality, but as long as they're normal quality, absolutely.
Absolutely. And with that too, even not just in the store, but when you're posting an ad, remember people are going to be going through their phones, thumbing through the phone, scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And your image has to be something that they're going to be like, oh wow, I gotta stop right here. Yep. Let me click on this. So if it's something that can invoke an emotion, then you're more likely going to get some clicks, a lot more clicks actually. Or if it's an image that pops and grabs their attention, that's really what the purpose is in the ad is. Hey, grab my attention.
Yeah, we're doing interruption marketing because there are people that are surfing, they are in social mode, they want to read see what their friends are doing or whatnot, and then you're interrupting with an image that really stands out related to something that they really enjoy, their passion or whatever it might be. Then that's when they're gonna stop and just look at it and then click on the ad, and it's a lot of times it's gonna be impulse buys unless the price is really higher, then they might need to think about it. But if the price is normal for the product, like under $50, there's usually a lot of impulse buys.
Yep, absolutely. So we've got another question here. How to manage shipping costs to ship to many countries? And this is your specialty, John.
Manage shipping costs to ship. So what I do, and what I recommend to the people that I teach to Shopify to, is that to have, if you can, have one shipping zone for all the countries that you ship to. If the shipping rates are not very different for a specific country. So if you're drop shipping from China, most of the time the shipping rates are going to be similar to most the top 5 countries and the Western European countries, for example, the ones that I ship to. So I have the same shipping rate for all the countries, and so I just set it up, the rates for all the I'm doing weight-based shipping rates. The shipping rates are based on the weight of the shopping cart, but I set it up and I add all the countries that I want into that shipping zone, and then all the other countries that are not in the zone, Shopify won't even allow people from those countries to buy. That's how I set it up in a simple way. If you need to break it out, if some country has very different shipping rates or something, then you just create a separate shipping zone for that country. That's what I would recommend doing. You don't need to set one zone for every country. You can group them together.
Yeah, absolutely. What sort of a number do you find satisfactory for a cost per click? This can be...
Yeah, so cost per click, there are multiple ways to measure cost per click, but cost per click on the link is what we're looking for. So if you're looking in your Facebook ads reports, it's the cost per click on the link that we want to measure, and preferably it should be, well, we want it to be below 50 cents, but even under $1 could be okay, and even higher than $1 if you're making sales and if you're profitable. But try to get it as low as possible, under $1, and preferably under 50 cents, because at least what I've seen in my store, a lot of the times, the visitors to my store correlates to $1 per visitor in sales. So if I have for one day 500 visitors to my store for one day, I usually have $500 in sales. So if you have 100 people visiting your store, you should approximately see $100 in sales. So if you're doing things the way we're doing it, and you might get a really high, you might have a higher margin if you're doing print on demand and things like that. But if you're drop shipping from China, that's a very common metric to have a $1 per visitor. So if you're paying more than that for your clicks, then you're definitely losing money. And if you get it down to 50 cents, if you're paying 50 cents to get a visitor and you're making $1 back, so then you're basically doubling your money back. And then of course you have other costs like cost of goods and maybe assistance and fees and stuff like that. But if you get it down to 50 cents, you should definitely be good in making a profit. And between 50 cents and $1, you might make a profit. But over $1, then you need to really look at your numbers, how much you're spending and how much you're making to see if you're actually profitable.
Yeah, that was a really great answer. Awesome. So if you get 100 view contents, even if you're not getting any sales, do you go on to the next step and copy the ad to an add to cart? No sales. If they've not
you get 100 view
sales.
Contents, no sales. Mm-hmm. So if you get 100 view contents, you should definitely, well, depending on the price point of your product, if you have a very high priced product, you might not even get a sale from 100 visitors, even though it's a good match of audience and product. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the time, if you're starting out, if your price point is around maybe let's say $20, you should definitely see a sale within 100 visitors if you're targeting the right people. So that's probably the case. Then go ahead into your Shopify back office and see in your reports or your dashboard reports. There you can see the conversion rate, how many people are actually adding the product to cart, and how many people initiate checkout, and how many people are you haven't had anyone purchase, but if you are getting 100 visitors and no one is adding to cart, then there is probably a problem with the product description or the price of the product. Either the price is too high or there is something in the product description that are basically steering them away from buying or adding it to cart. So start by looking there, and then go from there and see if they're clicking basically and adding to cart, but they're initiating checkout, but they're not buying. Then there might be the shipping rate that is too high, or something else related to it could be something else as well, but those are the most likely things that you should look for first.
Awesome. And hey Damon, and hey Brandon. Brandon saying what's up.
Hey, what's up?
And Darren. Hey guys. And Elvire. Thank you all. We're so glad you guys can hear us. Thank you all for being on today. Now, would you send people to a collection or a direct product? And in my experience, I have actually tested this, and sending them to a collection is not going to give you as much data that I have seen. Sending them directly to a product is going to give you a lot more data, as well as you're going to know whether that particular product is a winning product or not. When you send them to a collection, they may click on, maybe you have 5 items in there, and you're not going to know exactly which one it is that you can scale up on that particular ad set. So sending them, my answer to that, Paul, would be to send them directly to the product. Would you?
Yeah, I totally agree. You send them to the product, that will give you the best results. Yeah.
Absolutely. You guys have got some really great questions in here.
I like your questions too.
Do you have a favorite theme on Shopify that is more efficient and user-friendly than another? It depends on really if you're using a free theme or a paid theme. For me, on the free themes, I particularly like the Brooklyn theme. I like it just because it's got the nice big bold banner up front. There are a few other ones that I know. Minimal
Supply.
Yeah, and Supply.
And also Venture might be good. Those 4 are free themes: Supply, Minimal, Brooklyn, and Venture. The ones I suggest check out those 4 and pick one of those if you don't have money to spend on a paid theme. And I don't think you should spend money on a paid theme unless it's something very specific that you want. So when you're starting out, just go with a free theme.
Absolutely. Okay, so Luis asks how long do you leave a website conversion ad on Facebook to see good results? Again, I'm just going to go back over what Chris even teaches, which is you want to look at it, leave it on for about 3 days, even 3 to 4 days, just to make sure that you've got some good data, that you've got some engagement before moving on to the next process to either turn it off or scale it up.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I totally agree. Let it run so that you get enough data. So if you're running $5 a day ads, then let them run for 3 or 4 days. So you can spend $15 or $20. That's when you're going to see. You also give Facebook time to optimize, and then you can look at the data and see are people actually liking this. If they're liking it, you should see people clicking through on your link, and you should see a lot of engagement. So that's what you're looking for when you're determining if you're going to continue to run it or not, and of course if you've got sales. But
absolutely. Real quick, we've got Kenneth that asked about you opened a clothing store before. I did my research. Now everyone is saying to stay away from clothing. Is there another niche? Now, Kenneth, if you're going to do any kind of drop shipping from China for the clothing, that's really what we're saying as far as staying away from there because of the sizing. However, if you do print on demand for clothing, it just depends on which kind of a niche you're going towards. So if you're looking at people who like a particular breed of dog or a cat or, another like a yoga store or something that they're very passionate, teachers, police officers, that you're going to have on your shirts or hats or even shoes. There's different print-on-demand companies that you can go with, not necessarily to stay away from clothing, just on AliExpress because of the sizing and even sometimes the quality.
Quality as well, the quality can be really bad as well when you're buying cheap clothing from China. But if you go with print-on-demand companies, you can definitely, when you're selling print-on-demand, of course you need to come up with your own design for your clothes that's going to be printed on your shirts and whatever you're selling. But that's definitely the best way to start with if you want to sell clothes or start selling your own print-on-demand products with your own designs. You can sell leggings, you can sell shoes, you can sell phone cases, you can sell necklaces, you can sell hats, mugs, T-shirts. You're not. There are a lot of different product types you can do print on demand with. So just do some research, and there are some companies that you can find that provide those products. So
absolutely. Elaine would like to know: does your shipping and handling charges vary, and how do you determine if your shipping charges are too much? We have never had more than $9.95 on shipping and handling.
So shipping and handling $9.95 is very common for drop shipping when you're drop shipping from China. But what I do and what most people do that do drop shipping is that they increase the shipping rate if someone want to purchase two. So shipping and handling for two items with free plus shipping is basically going to be higher than just $9.95. So for one item is $9.95, but for two items, we raise the shipping and handling cost to $17.95 or $18.95 or something like that. So that's where you will make more money. You take in more money when you are basically for shipping and handling when you're selling more items.
Yeah, and even what I found with the shipping is that I'm just testing it and seeing which one your particular niche those people are willing to pay, because some of them I've done $9.95 and the abandoned cart, or even at $11.95 they'll abandon cart, but you go right in the middle, go to $10.95 or even all the way down to $8.95. It's all just keep testing and seeing what one is continuously converting. Yeah,
just lowering the shipping and handling price with $1 will give you a lot more conversions in a lot of the cases. But you also, of course, if you lower it from $9.95 to $8.95 and you get a lot more conversions, you also, of course, need to make sure that you're still making a profit or at least breaking even on that product. So you're not losing money. So because you will get more conversions, but you also get less profit if you're lowering the price. So
yes,
yeah,
agreed. This is something that you've even spoke on. Stephen has a question in regards to even yesterday's presentation that Chris and Peter did on print on demand on canvases, and how much or how do you match the photograph with the canvas company, and how do you merge? That would really depend on the POD company that you go with. Do you know more on the print on demand on the canvases, on how you match that up?
What do you mean by matching?
Do you match up the photograph
with the canvas company?
And you would add the image to the actual canvas. When you go with a lot of the print on demand companies, you're able to integrate that into your Shopify store and then upload the image even before any of your customers see it. Yeah. And you can see exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, they will actually make a mock-up. The print on demand companies will make a mock-up of the product with your image on it when you upload the image, so you can actually see what it's going to look like when it's on there, on that item, so, or that shirt or whatever it is. So definitely, it's different for different print on demand companies. But some of the companies out there, for example, like Viral Style or T-Launch or something like that, they are two print on demand companies that print T-shirts, for example, and other things as well. So you can go and look them up. They have apps. If you go into Shopify App Store and search for print on demand or T-shirts or something like that in there, you will definitely find some apps from different different print on demand companies that you can go and look them up on their website and see what they're actually selling.
Absolutely. So Simone has a question on, I have a few ads running since 4 weeks ago, but something is not working, or I might have didn't set up something correctly that I don't get any results. Is there any recommendations? So really, I would start to look at your data and see if you're not getting any results, then I would definitely turn those off. Typically before 4 weeks. Yeah, 4 weeks
is a little bit too long to. I wouldn't recommend you running an ad for 4 weeks if you're not making any sales. So I would, like I said, test my ad for 3 or 4 days at $5 a day and see if I'm getting engagement and maybe a sale or two. But if I don't get any sales within 3 or 4 days, or if for a cheap product or a low price product, then I definitely turn them off, pause them, and look at the data and see if I can make any changes and try another type of ad or something like that to a different audience or something. But don't run it for too long. That's, I mean, if if you're running a free plus shipping offer, run it for 3 or 4 days. If you're running a retail priced item and an ad for a retail priced item, then you know your markup, your profit margin basically on that item. So don't spend more than, like I would say, not more than 2 times the markup, or maybe $20-$25 if the markup is very low. But you can allow yourselves to spend $20-$25 for a retail priced item to see if you can get engagement enough, and then you determine if you're going to run it for another few days, if you have good engagement and good. So if you just try for a little longer to see if you can get a sale, but don't run it for a lot longer if you're not making any sales.
Okay, that's great advice. And then Abdullah, you had asked why doesn't Shopify accept debit cards for a monthly renewal? I would contact Shopify in regards to that.
That's a question for Shopify.
Yeah.
They have great customer support, so
Fantastic.
So contact them and ask them about that. That's a technical question or a payment related question. So.
In a PPP ad, if the relevant score is 8 for the audience and the engagement cost is 10 cents to 15 cents, should I change the audience? If so, what is the size for the audience the PPP recommended? So,
I would recommend.
Go ahead.
I would recommend an audience of 1 to 5 million to start out for PPE ad. If you can find that big of an audience. If you're in a smaller niche, you might not be able to find that. Then go with whatever size you can get. But if you can get between 1 and 5 million people in your audience, then you should definitely be a good enough size. What was the other question? So the 15 cents per engagement is too high. So there is something there that you want to change. Either it's the ad itself, it might not be compelling enough, or the product might not be compelling enough for them to click, or the audience, you might need to find a better audience for that product. So
what is the highest that you have gone for a PPP? I mean, for myself, I've done about 7 cents is the highest.
Yeah, I try to not go over 5 cents per click for sure, and I want to. I mean, I only run PPE ads in the beginning of my campaign as well, to bring up the engagement, because the purpose is to bring up the engagement and not make sales necessarily. So and I run it for a few days and look at the data and see if I get how much the cost of the engagement is, and if it's too high, I turn it off quickly, and if it's good, I'll let it run for a little longer so that I can get more likes and shares and stuff like that. But mostly you're going to get likes. And also, when it comes to likes and comments and shares, from a PPE ad, you will get a lot of likes, not necessarily as many shares and comments, though. So the likes are the most common from a PPE ad. But they're serving well as social proof that people are actually liking your item. So when other people see your ad and they see that it has a lot of likes, they get more intrigued and see, why is this product having so many likes, and they will look into it more, and yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. Looks like we're almost at an hour.
Yeah, we're almost at an hour.
So we're going to go through here and just answer a few more questions here. And let's see here. If there are any, there's a couple of questions in here in regards to payments and Shopify and PayPal limitations, including Stripe. We would recommend contacting Shopify in regards to how much are those percentages and the currencies based on your country. Let's see here.
Yeah, that's not something we can control, so that's you have to contact them to ask about those questions.
Okay, let's see here. Assistance finding products and vendors. Can you assist me? Okay, Carl. I need assistance finding products, vendors to sell.
Assistance in finding product vendors to sell. So, if you're going the route of dropshipping from AliExpress, I would start searching on AliExpress for products that are for keywords in my niche related to what I want to sell. If I want to sell cat necklace, I would search for cat necklaces in AliExpress, and then I would look at the results. First, I would look at the most relevant results and see if there is something there that stands out, that has a lot of sales already on AliExpress, because if it has a lot of orders in AliExpress, I know that a lot of people are liking it. So that's a good sign to start with. And then I also sort my search results by the number of orders, and then you get the highest first and the most best-selling first. The best-selling cat necklace will come up first, and so on. So then I can see what's actually selling, what actually people are liking, and then that's how I usually go and look and find my vendors. I go into AliExpress and do searches, and then I might contact that vendor that's selling a particular necklace and ask them about the product and their shipping and so on, and build a relationship with them. That's what I would recommend to start to find vendors on AliExpress. Start there. That's the easiest way to get going and find vendors.
Yeah, absolutely. On Facebook ads, after you create an ad, Facebook wants you to boost the post. Do you suggest boosting the post, or just let it run for the $5 a day? My recommendation is to let it run the $5 a day, not to go on the actual page and boost the post from there.
Don't boost the post where Facebook recommends. That's most of the time it's a waste of money. Facebook is going to take your money and show it to whoever they like, basically within a keyword that you choose or whatever. But instead, go and create an ad for that post instead of $5 a day ad. And target the people that you actually want to target with that ad. That's going to be, you're going to get a lot more worth out of your money.
All right, and then Mark has a question on regards to testing products. Do you advise to test one product on more audiences, or do you think it is better to test more products on one audience? I would recommend testing. This is something that we even were speaking about in regards to the entrepreneurs. Is do one ad a day, and so you can do that one ad with one audience. See if that one works, and then if that ad works, then you can go ahead and start even multiple ad sets, or take one product and break it out into 5 ad sets and do that for the entire week, and set it at a $5 a day budget. It is for each one. But
it's good to test a product with multiple audiences, because some audiences are more responsive than others, and if you have a product that you know is selling well for others, or you know that it's selling, or have seen that it's popular on AliExpress or something like that, then there are people that are interested in it. You just need to find those people, and testing multiple audiences is then a good way. But of course, if you can't find an audience match with that like your product, if you're testing 3 or 4 or 5 audiences, then go ahead and try a different product. But then try to stay maybe in the same niche and try another product within those, and try those 5 audiences with another product that they might be a better match to. That's what I would go. And a key to becoming successful with Facebook advertising and Shopify is to continuously launch ads day by day, launch new ads, even if it is for a duplicate ad for an ad set that's already running, or if you want to or test a new audience, or if you're launching an ad for a new product, completely new niche or whatever. Always get into the habit of launching ads, because that's what's going to take you to success the fastest, being consistent with that. That's if you ask anyone who is very successful, they're launching ads all the time to find winning products, because a lot of your ads are not going to work. That's just how it is, reality. A lot of your ads are not going to perform. That's for me as well. I mean, in the beginning, maybe 1 out of 10 of your ads will work and make you sales. As you get better, maybe 2 out of 10 or 3 out of 10. Yeah. But always, I've seen the majority of ads are going to fail, and they fail for me. Any successful person that is successful with Shopify, ask them. They have a ton of failed ads, a lot more failed ads than ads that are actually successful. So but when you find that winner, that's that product that's selling well, they will make up for all the losses from those tests of the.
All right.
Right, we're back. Yeah. So definitely try to launch ads every day. That's my biggest tip, and to become successful with it. And even if it's $5 a day ad, if you can launch one $5 a day ad every day, and then turn it off after 3 days if it's not working, and 3 or 4 days, and you launch another ad the next day and let it run for 3-4 days and see how it's working. Try different audiences and different products, and you'll find a winner within a few weeks if you do that, most likely. So if you're doing it the way we're teaching.
Absolutely. All right, so we're going to do one more question here. And I think this brings up a really great point in regards to Instagram versus Facebook. And Jen Mark Nielsen, I noticed that when I run my ads that most of them are showing up on Instagram and not on Facebook. What is the cause, and should I run them separately? Yes, absolutely run them separately. Instagram is really all about the pictures. So, and Facebook is also about the images as well as a lot of the content in it. Go ahead.
The audience on Instagram and Facebook, they are different too. The people that are on Instagram are more interested in the pictures, and they're more maybe fashion or artists or fashion-oriented people. So, and they like images a lot more than people. And Facebook, everyone almost is on Facebook, but not everyone is on Instagram. So there are different demographics. So definitely separate them. Don't run them together, because you will get a lot of views on Instagram that the Instagram ads needs to be a little bit different, crafted a little bit differently than the Facebook ads as well to work well, I think.
Absolutely. Yep, I agree with that. I'll answer this very last one because I've noticed a lot of people bringing up Gear Bubble. Gear Bubble, Raphael, is a print-on-demand company that you can integrate into your Shopify store, and you can actually have on their platform that you put your own images on their products, and they'll print it and ship it out for you. So it doesn't necessarily work exactly like AliExpress. AliExpress you're using as a drop shipper. You take their products, plug them into your store, and then you go back to their site and order it. Whereas Gear Bubble or even Printful or Viral Style, Interest Print are all going to print your images on the products and ship them on out for you. So
you still have the products in your store, so your customers will see them in your store. But when you get an order of the print-on-demand products, you basically turn around to your print-on-demand company and tell them to print that product and ship it out to your customer. Instead of, if you're getting an order from a drop shipping product that you get from AliExpress, you turn around to your vendor in AliExpress and say, hey, I want to order this item for this customer, so ship it out to my customer.
Yep, absolutely. All right, well, guys, these have all been really great questions today. Hopefully it's been of value to you guys. And good luck on this 90-day challenge. You all are doing so fantastic, and the group has been really growing. And we appreciate you all being on today.
Yeah, we certainly do. And see you all in the group.
All right.
Have a nice day.
Have a great day.
Great day.